Huawei secretly builds advanced chip factory. Now, we covered this the other day and is of absolutely critical importance. Understand that Huawei, as I'm about to cover, is in almost every single layer of technology that there is. And this is just another step towards them owning an entire vertical stack. Mind you, this is not them partnering with SMIC or some other foundries, but Huawei literally becoming their own foundry. If successful, there will be no other company in the world that has this type of vertical integration, which will bring them closer to Nvidia in the AI chip race. We have covered the Cloud Matrix 384 on this channel in depth, and it is a brilliant piece of technology, able to compete with the top of the line system from Nvidia, the NVL72, through sheer brute force. Trust me when I say that this is not the future that the US China hawks envision when they try to handcuff China through sanctions. Now that Huawei is building their own foundry, the cost of such systems will come down. And what is next? Will they perhaps be able to compete with ASML on EUV? That is unknown, but one thing is for sure, and that is that we can expect to see many more technological breakthroughs such as the Ascend 920 chip. Unlike Nvidia, Huawei will be controlling the entire vertical stack, including the production of their own chips. They are not reliant on an ARM, ASML, or TSMC. Mind you, I'm not saying it's bad to partner with others. On the contrary, my philosophy, which I call MUGA, make us great again, encourages fair competition and trade. But rather, I'm just highlighting what happens when you poke a bear or wake a sleeping giant. You better be ready for the consequences, because those consequences can be severe. Harmony OS has surpassed iOS in China, the most important market for Apple, and the result has been catastrophic for Apple. Their earnings are taking a hit and the stock is faltering. People are not seeing any growth in the largest premium smartphone market in the entire world. Instead, they see a company that's losing ground, and that's not good for Apple or its investors. Because who do you think Huawei is taking smartphone sales from? The company saw a 28% year-over-year growth in the first quarter of 2025, an astonishing figure. Not only is this putting their custom-developed Harmony OS into more users' hands, but it's taken away share from other providers. The US sanctions, which were meant to devastate Huawei by preventing them from utilizing Android, have indeed backfired, and now Huawei is not dependent on Alphabet for any part of their system. Just like with their AI servers, they own the entire vertical stack. And this innovation has been contagious amongst their departments, as seen with the revolutionary Mate XT Ultimate, which was the world's first trifold phone. That is a phone that folds in thirds, open up to the size of a tablet when completely unfolded. Yes, it is an expensive device, but it's still an engineering phenomenon, especially in a very mature smartphone market where very little is happening. Huawei is showing that it's not afraid to come out swinging and be innovative. And it hasn't stopped there. Just recently, Huawei announced that they are launching their first laptop with the self-developed Harmony OS system. This is a direct shot at American behemoths Microsoft and Apple. And remember that before the sanctions happened, Huawei was perfectly content to just build the hardware for other people's operating systems. Now, out of necessity, they are owning the entire stack and competing in the most critical departments. Now you can see why some are calling Trump the great builder in China. And from the final article here, we can see that Huawei has taken a role in the development of quantum computing, even patenting a quantum chip. Now, I wanted to take a quick second here to explain what I mean in this article when I keep talking about a vertical stack. When you have somebody like Google and they release the Pixel phone, they are reliant on, it was Samsung for a while, and now it's going to be TSMC to manufacture their chips. They also license IP for these chips from ARM. Same thing with Apple. Apple licenses the IP from some of the chips from the ARM-based chipset, and then they go to TSMC, and the TSMC has the development for the chips. Nvidia does the same thing. Now, when you look at Huawei, though, they are not able to do this because they have been disallowed by sanctions. So they were forced to go out and develop their own IP, and now they're going to be producing their own chips. We have seen that the tight integration like this allows companies to be more competitive at every single stage of the game, i.e., Google went ahead and it developed its own Pixel phone. I don't expect them to develop a foundry, but they did this because they wanted more control over the vertical integration of the stack. Their big thing has been in software and apps. However, they wanted to move into hardware so they could direct where they see hardware going. Nobody will be able to do this. Nobody in the entire world, not even Samsung, because Samsung is reliant on Android. Nobody, not Apple, not anybody, will be able to do what Huawei will be able to do with the combination of hardware and software. Simply put, nobody has the type of stack they do where they own every aspect of the verticality. They own the OS, they own the IP, developing their own chips, they have the foundry, they have all aspects of it. And meanwhile, what are we here in the US of A doing to our great companies?
Do you think the U.S. should back off on China trade sanctions? Do you think the restrictions are effective?
Well, we have to defer all of the policy making to the administration. They understand that the balancing national security versus the prosperity of American technology all over the world. We're exporting American technology, which is really terrific for the United States, that the world is built on Nvidia, on American standards. Nvidia is an American company, and our government and the administration would love to see us succeed. And so finding the right balance is very difficult to do, but they're doing a wonderful job.
So there we have it. He has to give a very careful answer there. But what's he saying? Think about it. When we were exporting our technology over the world was built on our standards. And now we're saying we don't want that? Like, it doesn't make sense to me, okay? It absolutely doesn't make sense. They're hampering him. All the stuff that Nvidia does, developing their new chips, he said that for Grace Blackwell, it was in the tens of billions of dollars. But now the Trump administration is going to be costing him potentially up to $60 billion. Now, you might say Nvidia makes a ton of money. But that money that they make, they need to keep making it in order to develop these new chips. And we're cutting them off from that. That's not going to be good for Nvidia. And it's not going to be good if you want to make America great again. It's counterproductive. So that's all I have for you guys today. If you agree with me, please let me know down below. If you disagree with me, go ahead and tell me why. I will be reading every comment. Also, if you haven't already, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below. We're trying to get to 2,000. Thank you.